Good morning, everyone. We'd like to welcome you to the Nicholas County Board of Education Special LSIC meeting, Tuesday, October 15th, 2024. And at this time, please stand for a moment of silent reflection. Thank you. Please join the board with the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Today's meetings are to hear LSIC reports from Panther Creek, Richwood High, and Richwood Middle. Cherry River will be at a later date. So at this time, we're ready for Panther Creek.
Yes, welcome to Panther Creek. I usually start my presentation by data because you guys know I love that kind of thing. But today, actually, I'm going to start by talking about some exciting new things to share with you that have been in addition to Panther Creek this year. First, I'm going to talk about the window coverings. Thanks, Mrs. Thomas. Those things were amazing. Not only did she do this school, but she also did Color River Elementary. And there's a purpose for them, even though they look pretty, there's really a great purpose for them. And I'm also going to talk about the new reading interventions classroom that has now been started here at Panther Creek, again, thanks to Mrs. Thomas getting that together for us. So first of all, I want to talk about the window perfs. If you're talking school pride and school spirit, those window perfs are the way to go. Not only do they look nice, when you guys entered this morning, you can see them, but they do have some important ways that keeps our school safe. First of all, there are giving us school pride, which I think a lot of this, we need this. We need that. They regulate the temperature within inside the classroom, especially on the sunny days. The end of our hallways get pretty hot. She put them on the end of our hallways, and that seems to be a little cooler out in the hallways now. They say that they keep the glass from shattering, which deters intruders and gives our kids a little sense of security inside our classrooms. They really look nice. I think our windows look cleaner, and it gives them a very good inviting appearance. They are semi-transparent, and they allow us to see out. But once you walk up, you can't really see in until you almost get to the door. So we're excited to have those this year. They look really nice. A couple of them that I have taken a picture of. Your front entrance, and if you notice, I took this from the outside, and you can't see a soul standing. We also took it from the side. This is over towards the third grade in our reading interventionist room. You also can't see in front of that school right there. I love it. This is the back door of the lunchroom. Now that lunchroom, and Chip, you know, you've been here, it has a lot of light coming through. Well, she blacked it out with this. That's helped. She also put the little stripes on the sides of our doors. Now, if you've been at the Panther Creek for years, we've used blinds. They didn't work. We used pull down, roll down blinds. They tore up. We blacked them out with our own paper. These are nice. If you guys walk down the hallways today, especially on the green wing, you'll see that she has blacked them out. These are Panther Claw points, as our shirts have. And they look very inviting, and they're clean, and they do not deter us on the inside. I can see out, but she can't literally see into us. So as she was doing her walks on the day we were doing our safety, she said, I can still see in. When the day we went to see a play, she went back and darkened them a little bit darker. You can't see in those things. And we love them. This is the view from my end of the hallway, green wing. There's perfs on that window, but we can see out. Look how far out we can see. I can see clear to the playground. But if you're standing outside and looking in, you can't see until you get almost right up to the door. So as a safety issue, I think our kids are really liking that part of it. When we get rich, you know, we're all going to be there one day. We'd like to do our library. Our library has a lot of light. If you would put up the lines and things like that, they're dirty. They crumble, they get hot, but that's our library at this current moment right now, which will hold a fourth grade classroom. There's a lot of light coming through that, and there's a lot of windows. We eventually would love to cover those. Not only that, but we're looking at the back side of our classroom as well. This is the back side of our school. She already has the doors covered, but if you look where I took these pictures, you can see students through every window. We actually have those blinds. Those blinds have been here forever. They're crusty, they're old, they're nasty. But even with the blinds being halfway full, we get no light. With these, we get a little bit of light. But look where I took the pictures. You can see every kid inside that window. So we're really excited to have those this year. Another important part of Panther Creek that we want to talk about today is our new reading interventions classroom. It used to be our science classroom. Every kid in this school is getting an intervention. Every kid, every class, every grade. This classroom is a little bit different than the usual intervention classroom. Miss Rain is teaching the class. She is a week behind the regular ed teacher in reading. A week, two, she told me sometimes. She's providing the same thing in the classroom, but in a different way. Such as she's been a little bit more fun. She said that she's actually doing cycling bingos. She's doing writing in the sand for the little kids for their letters and numbers. And she said that she has so many ways to teach a lesson that the kids just think it's fun. They go in her classroom now and they say, oh, wow, I can't wait to get in there. She also serves as data collection for her intervention. Saves us a lot of time. And she is serving as our SAT leader. Am I correct in that, Virginia? This is her classroom. And tell me that's not a lighting classroom. She cleaned it up herself. We threw a lot of things away. That classroom right now is set up. That's 4 tables. She has help. She has aides coming in to help her. Each table represents something that she's doing that the classroom teachers do. Where I think that's going to go for us is I think our reading scores are going to be higher than ever. Maybe not this year, but once we get it settled next year. So we're excited about those 2 parts of Panther Creek this year. My favorite part, where are we? If you look at our school ranking this year, Panther Creek went up 23 places. And I told you guys when I came last year, I said, we're going to do better. We have. Right now, we're ranked 67 out of 368 schools in West Virginia. So we did better. Our average state percentile is about an 81. We're almost about where we were when we became a national blue ribbon school. We were 71st and 54th about that time. So we're working our way right back up. If you look at our 3rd grade scores, which these will be our 4th graders this year, they did an amazing job. In math, they scored a 65, which the state and the county was only 52, 53. In the area of reading, they were 65 again, and the state and the county was only 40, 46. Those are our 4th graders for this year. That's just starting. If I look at 4th grade, which is our 5th grade this year, they are at math. They are 58% last year. They beat the state and county. And in reading, language arts, they had 54. We beat the state and county in both of those. The 5th graders that just left the school last year and are 6th graders now, they were 70% in math, which the state and county was only 49, 30. In reading, we were 52. We beat the state and county, which that's what you all would like to do. And in science, I believe this is going to improve a little bit. We've taken our science and brought it back into our classrooms. So now our classroom teachers are going to be responsible for these. It's working out great. Intermingling it with our reading program. We're at a 36. I guarantee that number would be a lot higher. If you're looking at our diagnostic on IXL, you're looking at 3rd grade right now, we predict. She had 63, it could go higher for 3rd grade. If you're looking at 4th grade, they're about a 68. And 5th grade is about 73. Those reading scores are pretty amazing. I think they might be higher. I hope by the time we're finished. Now, math is a different story. We've got a class that needs a little bit of help, but 3rd grade is already at a 61 on their IXL. 4th grade is a 68, and 5th grade is a 45. So your 5th grade teachers, you got a lot of making up to do. So as we sit here and talk about scores, I know they're important. I think we do a good job with them. I think our scores are coming up and I think they're going in the right direction. As I said and thought about this quote came to my mind last night, and then it comes up on the TV. Hey, Chris, look on my mic. There it comes. I can sit here and talk about all the data in the world, but they can't accurately measure the love and heart rate that goes into a single day of teaching children whose needs go far beyond that curriculum. And I think that's about where we are right now. The curriculum and needs, I think the needs are overdoing the curriculum. Yeah, that was short and sweet, but I'm done. You guys have any questions?
I
Okay.
Go ahead.
wonder what the cost
That's what I was going.
of those window coverings were.
Right under $5,000.
I guess a better question
How much would it cost
to
to
do
the
the rest of
library?
it.
Probably about 2,500.
Now, was that the material that created the shadow?
That's not shattered.
That was not shatterproof.
Not shattered
Okay.
all the way.
Okay.
It's really expensive when you start on smaller windows and he has to cut it to shape. He's using a full sheet. So when I was working with smaller windows, they ended up being more expensive for me.
Okay.
What she said, total cost was. It would cost
Any other questions?
$25,000. But how much that is?
Fifth grade math teachers going back to service too.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
I think something we'll entertain maybe if the board agrees is we kind of put, you all in a situation with bringing Cherry River up here. So we'll see if we can't find some money.
Safety is number one.
Well,
Man, that's safe.
We'll
Yeah.
find you some money, try to find you some money to finish your windows.
Okay.
What y'all think?
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Funny.
Yeah. Next, we have Richwood High School. Mr. Williams.
Getting innovations from every kid. Yeah. Copy as well. So if I have any questions.
Good morning, thank you for having us. Pardon my voice a little bad today. I've some laryngitis going on. First thing I always like to share is what we do with our strategic plan. Faculty's involved being a fairly small school. We don't break that into teams, we do that in a big meeting. We identify strengths and weaknesses to start. First, our strengths were graduation rate. We're well over 95% in that. Have been for a couple of years, so that's a good thing. Our behavior issues, we don't consider ourselves to have a lot of behavior issues. Obviously, that's not to say there aren't some things going on. I'll share a little bit about that in a minute. Weaknesses, like the rest of the state of West Virginia, our weaknesses kind of mirror, especially the first two, kind of mirror the state. There are 120-ish high schools in West Virginia, and well over 100 of them are, when you get to the slide on the balanced scorecard that the state puts out, are in the red in attendance. We're actually not. So ours has improved some, but I still consider the weakness. So it's something we focus on. Math scores, same thing. It's 120 high schools and well over 100 of them are in the red in math. English scores are not where we want those either. Statewide, that's not as big a problem, and ours have come up some, I'll show you that. Things we use in our strategic plan to try to address these things. We had textbook trainings, we've got new math curriculum this year. It came with a online Alex program, which, they've been using out to Career Center for a few years. West Virginia University used some of their online college classes. It's a pretty good program. We have had math standards training this year that lady's been by twice, 3 more scheduled. So she's going to come by, work with all the math teachers on looking at the standards, making sure we're addressing the standards and relating the standards back to the test. So that's good. Our group of teachers went to Europe program with the Student Success Summit, and they cover a variety of topics there. They have breakout sessions on all kinds of things from behavior to academics to data, and looking at how to look at data. So they learn a lot there. Every year we do our safe school online trainings. Again, a variety of topics are covered in those from first aid and safety, suicide prevention, dyslexia. I mean, it covers a variety of topics. PBIS Summer Academy, I'll do that this summer with Mr. Robinson, Calliston, and Mr. Bayless went to that, and Mr. Rapp. That was a really good training. Talk about maybe how to work on trying to figure out a way to send some more people to those. ACES training, that was a good training we did this summer. Dr. Lee had some extra money left over from ARC money, and we did an ACES training. ACES stands for Early Childhood or Adverse Childhood Events. And you look at the events that have affected a person's childhood and they can score. And you can kind of look at how that score reflects with expulsions, how that score reflects with academic struggles. And you find that it's a really strong predictor of a lot of things. And it doesn't excuse behavior, but it kind of explains why you're seeing what you're seeing, and things like divorce, incarceration of a parent, drug abuse in the family. So all those are adverse childhood events. And then we have a co-teaching training this week, which is a math teacher and a co-teacher for that to work on how to get better at co-teaching in collaborative classrooms. This is the West Virginia basketball card. I always go over this because this is kind of what the state uses to assess schools. And it's broken into a lot of areas, and I have it printed out or posted with our high school, our county schools, hospitals, and then the bottom is the state average. And they rank everything in 4 colors. Red is the lowest, then yellow, then blue, then green. So if you're seeing red, that's a weak area. If you're seeing yellow, that's a little better than blue and green. So it's going across the third area is academic skill. And as you can see, we were in the red, but with a check mark, it means you did hit your improvement goal for that year. So we were lower in English, that's why ELA is up there as a weakness, but we did improve some in the last year. That's why that check mark's there. As you can see in mathematics, county schools, state schools are all in the red. It's a struggle, we're fighting it. I've got some things later I'm gonna tell you about that we're doing to try to work in that area, but it's statewide, it's a struggle. They do a really good job in some counties, trying to set a visit up over Pocahontas County. They do a really strong job in math. So maybe see what they're doing that we can, things we could borrow, could steal, we could emulate. Graduation rate is green is the best, and we're in green in both 4-year and 5-year graduation rate. So that means it's above 95%. So those are good. English learners, we don't have enough, and almost no school has enough to meet the minimum standard sample size of ours is grade A. And then the last column is student success. Attendance, you see the state attendance number is, and the longer the bar fills all the way up in the red, and then it becomes yellow, and then that fills all the way up, and it becomes, so you can see where the state bar is in attendance. It's pretty low. It's the lowest, the shortest column on there by far in attendance, the average state attendance. And the way they measure that is the way we now do it in the county with our 9 days or less for student success. They measure that in chronic absenteeism. So it's not how many kids are there in a given day. It's what percentage of kids are not chronically absent. Chronically absent means you miss more than 10% of the days. So 180 days a year, if you miss more than 19 days, you're chronically absent. So, you can see where they're at. Ours is in yellow moving up, and it's actually a little better so far this year. So some of the things we're doing with our social workers, our graduating coaches, our community and schools people, are making great strides in attendance. And I thank you all for having those positions. A lot of counties don't, and that supports quite a bit. On track to graduate, ours isn't really great. And probably I shouldn't, but this is the one I put the least stock in of all of these. Because I feel like on track to graduate is the percentage of 10th graders who have 12 or more credits in their 10th grade year and have passed all the core classes. On track to graduate is supposed to be a predictor of graduation rate. On track to graduate is in red and our graduation rate is in green. So we try to hold them to a fairly high standard there those first years to, get them, increase their academic, and some of them struggle. Then we do credit recovery, we do remediation, and we obviously pick those credits back up for the graduation rate. So I'd be more concerned about it if it was a more accurate predictor of what the actual graduation rate is. And then the final one is post-secondary achievement. We lag a little bit behind the state in that one. That's the percentage of kids who either complete a vocational program, complete AP class and pass the test with a 3 or better, or complete a dual credit class and pass with a C. They take all the percentage and you either do one of those things, you don't. If you do more than one, you still just count once. Percentage of your kids that are in versus that number is coming up, and I expect it to come up. I'll show you some vocation data here kind of backs that up in some dual credit. So graduation rate. Last year, we were 97.75%. That's the highest we've been anywhere on there from 2015 on. So graduation rate's in a really strong place right. Attendance data, now this is a little bit misleading because we had this meeting a month later last year. So this data is based on 57 days into school, and this year's data is based on 40 days into school, because that's just where we're at. But in last year, 2023-24, 22% of our kids were chronically absent. And the average attendance was 92.847%. This year, now, again, less days to look at. 18.8% of kids are chronically absent, and 93.4% is the average attendance rate. So that's up in both cases. 20%, if you go back to this, is the cutoff. If you can be under 20%, this yellow bar fills up the counts. So that's our goal this year, is to stay under 20% so that we can meet that attendance goal. One of the programs that helps us a lot with graduation rate is Gear Up. We are a Gear Up school, and we will be through at least the next 3 years, because that's where the cohort classes are. Then there's a new grant, they reapply, and we get them Gear Up school through 2 grants now. Hope to keep it because it's a great program. They do college visits. One of the things they really work at is completion of FAFSA. FAFSA is the pre-application for federal student aid that every kid has to do before they go to college. That means they're going to college, they have to do this before they. Last year, 54.7% of our kids completed FAFSA. That's the highest we've been since 2017. And we got just Friday, we went and got a college banner. We got 3 of them now from this year, a couple years before, of champion of college access and success, from where we FAFSA rate is good. We do college signing day at awards day, where it's so the table is kind of signing to college, and then we do college application for all seniors. We do just one application. So that's the standards for that. We've got college trips scheduled to New River on 11/6, Ridge Valley on 11/7, Fairmont on 11/14, and Wimbledon State on 11/15. Now, that's not all seniors. Some of those trips are sophomores, some of those trips are freshmen, some of those trips are seniors. So try to start early, get them to see what's out there, try to hit community technical colleges as well as four-year colleges. So that they, whatever they want to do, they've seen what's out there. FAFSA workshop nights, got a senior. The FAFSA last year got a lot harder. Added steps to an already complicated process. So now it's before you can even start the FAFSA, 5 days before both the parent and student have to get a FSA ID access code. And so it's multiple days, multiple steps. We have FAFSA nights that people can come in. We have someone from the state come and get help, because last thing you want someone not to fill out a FAFSA because they and their parents struggle to complete the complete. So try to make sure we get all that. College partnerships, we worked with New River this year. We switched from Wimble. We offer on campus with one of our teachers, dual credit anatomy, credit English 101 and 102, credit government classes, and dual credit U.S. history classes. We also have a math class that is an online class, but we have a math teacher in there that helps practice, so more success. So you can get a lot of college credits through English 101, 102, 3-hour classes, anatomy class, 4-hour classes. Next year, we'll offer biology instead of anatomy. We'll alternate that so that the juniors, in your junior and senior year, you have access to 16 hours of college science there. You math, government history. So they can get a lot of credit. They can actually pursue an associate's degree in allied health. That's the LPN program, started a couple years ago. But this year we added STEM, welding, law and public safety, and education. So they can pursue an associate's degree in any of those fields. If they are pursuing an associate's degree through new grants from the state, classes are free. These kids are getting free college classes that, you know, they can graduate with 40, 50, 60 hours of college credit if they complete the associates. So that's taking time off that they won't need when they get to college, saving them money on the back, saving them money now by being free, saving them money on the back end by probably getting you in 2 years, 2.5 years, 4-year degree. So that's a huge thing for us. We're really glad we were able to work hard on that this summer and get that in place. This is the New River Community Technical College participant, or not New River. This is our tech center's participation rate. And as you can see, if you total up the numbers, we have 114 students that are in either morning or afternoon programs. So those are the long programs. We have 79 freshmen who are there for exploratory. So that is a total of 79 and 114. That's the highest number from 2017 to now. So that's why I'm going to go back to this number and talk about post-secondary achievement, hoping to come up. These two slides, this one, because we're going to get more kids to get completed than back. This one, because we're going to have more kids taking college classes past, should raise that number dramatically. One of the programs that the county funds, it's an academic program we look at data from, it's IXL. I'm not going to talk a lot about it, but those are the percentages. We do a diagnostic in the spring, diagnostic in the winter, and a diagnostic in the fall. So the fall diagnostic between it in the winter, and then you can see the improvement that occurs as students work in the program between the diagnostic and the next time. So this graph hopefully will continue to trend up because, and this can be used for skill remediation. If kids struggle in a certain area, you can assign problems just in that area. And it's great for small group instruction because while I'm teaching the whole class over here, got a kid over here that's struggling. We can work with different groups to try to catch up without falling behind the regular classes. That's important. Areas for improvement, talk about attendance. So let's just do a word specialist for Mike. He's the student services director now. But Mike works with us to do truancy diversion contracts. And Liz worked with those so that the kid gets to the point of truancy. We work with those. Graduation coach, David is going to be our graduation coach. He'll work a lot like Pat Beanie did last year. Mainly with seniors, talking to them about get to school, why are you behind? Why aren't you turning us in? That does wonders for that graduation rate. So this is our social worker. We have her a day a week. She comes in, she does transfer program contracts, she does home visits, she does whatever is necessary. She'll, go see kids, learn, what's going on, we can't get a hold of them. That's good. And then Billy Giles, our community site coordinator, and she does a wonderful job. She heads up our clothing pantry, our food pantry, stands out in the morning and greets every kid as they're getting off the bus. They see a smiling face in the morning. Chip gets off the bus every day, and he's smiling every day, and then one day he's not. Really damn, she can pick up on that, try to figure out, let someone know, hey, you might want to check. Sometimes we get to problems before there are problems. We can let a teacher know. And sometimes it's something simple. They had sleep last night. They had a really bad night. Their baby sister, college was up, and the whole family was up. Mess. We just let those teachers know, hey, be aware. This kid might be a little out of sorts today. Just kind of stays off problems for this stuff. Math and ELA scores. 11th grade. We're going to start 9 weeks since today. We're going to start this week with 11th grade during AA classes. We're going to pull groups and do math and English remediation. Math and English, 30 minutes a day, 3 times a week. Twice in math, once in English. It's math further behind. Hoping to do SAT prep and all kinds of things to try to bring those scores up. Obviously, realize that is weakness. ISO, the math program has ALEs, which are both online programs that can differentiate instruction based on kids' needs. So we're going to use those some with that, and then we also use them in classes to try to bring up math scores. Challenges, pod upkeep's always one of our challenges. We're hoping that we're near done with those, and from what I understand, we are. But just things damaged they're past the shuffle, basically. Next thing's actually a good area for last year when I edited this PowerPoint. So we backed off last year's. Last year that number was 4 for vacancies. This year it's 1. So we found some people to fill some positions. We have 1 math vacancy right now, but we've filled some others. I want to thank you all too for. We now have French at the high school, so kids can get a foreign language without having to bus somewhere, and that's great and going well. And in dual credit classes, Alistair, you were here, you should probably echo this strongly. We had a little bit of problem getting enrollments, purchasing and getting textbooks in, but we're working with them to try to streamline that process. So next year, we've had a couple meetings about it, that kids get books on time. We were into the school year and have books. So some of those things changed. We're working. And then just finally, a couple of student programs we do. We do a Veterans Day program. We always have a blood drive in the spring and fall. RAISE is an anti-tobacco group that does promotions. They do these advertisements against tobacco. Europe already talked about. And then extracurricular activities. I don't know what the state numbers are, but we have a lot of kids involved in extracurriculars. That's RAISE from last year. We haven't had the RAISE youth summit yet this year. That's like a year. College Outreach, that's a program through Europe. Again, that's last year's. Europe, we took a Europe trip to Charleston. They 1,500 people in the Play Center. They do a fall kickoff, and then we do Europe helps us again with the classes. But this is part I want to talk about. Like, we have a lot of kids participate in sports, but of course, band is huge. So when you look at it, I think we have about 150 kids out of 300 that are participating in extracurricular activity. I don't know what the state average is, but half of them, I think it's pretty fair to say, for most schools. So half our kids are in extracurricular, and the research always shows that extracurricular activity participation cuts down on absenteeism, cuts down on kids getting in trouble after school and all of that. So between the band and the athletics, extracurricular participation. That's it. Questions?
In your math, how many people are accredited? How many are math teachers?
Both our freshmen, Mr. Stanson and Mr. Groves, are the 2 math teachers we have are certified math teachers. The 1 vacancy, we have a sub in that's not.
So that's the current vacancy?
That's the current vacancy.
Does that person have a background in math?
Not terribly. We couldn't, we looked, we had a hard time finding someone that had strong background in math. She's done some accounting and bookkeeping, and it's seniors, and part of that's financial algebra, so she does have some knowledge in that area.
And what level is that?
It's seniors and sophomores.
Okay. How about your advanced math, your trade?
That one, the advanced math classes are taught by Mr. Rose, and he's certified.
Certified?
He taught at Mix County High School. He taught calculus at Mix County High School. A few years back, then he went to Webster and came to us. He's taught some advanced math.
Okay, elaborate a little bit on your co-teaching, training in math. What's,
It's actually tomorrow, so I'm not yet sure exactly how that's gonna work. The trainings, or not tomorrow, Thursday on a PL day. They're going to the board office. They're gonna have some trainings where we work. So in classes that are collaborative classes where we have a special education teacher in there with a regular education teacher. It's just training on how we better serve those students. There are different models for co-teaching. There's, I teach, you teach, we teach models. I take a small group, you take a small group, we work and switch. There's just various different ways that, it's important that they plan those out together. And then they, so that you're not just sitting in the back of the coach, you're not just sitting in the back of the while I'm teaching, that we're all doing something to serve all the kids in the best way possible. So I'm not sure exactly what that training's gonna look like on Thursday. I'll know more after they have it. and talk.
in your, math, I'm math oriented.
I'm saying,
In your math, vacancy, does that person have someone that they can, assist them and
they work, she meets with our other math teachers, periodically to talk about, how would you do this? And she tries to, take that advice, great lessons. From what I've seen, she's doing a pretty good job with math. But no, she's not, it's not a certified teacher.
Elaborate on going from the integrated math to.
Yes, I should mention that. We switched this year from, we were, back when I was in school and all before that, we had algebra, what we do now, algebra 1, geometry, algebra 2. At one point, it's been a few years back, we switched to integrated math, where we did math 1, math 2, math 3. And this year we switched back to, a lot of the states switched to integrated math, and then pretty much everyone is now going back to, we were one of just a handful still doing integrated math, and we switched back to algebra 1, geometry, algebra 2 as the 9th, 10th, 11th grade sequence. What that means for us is, the teachers like it better doing it that way. But what that means is we also have to catch up some gaps that occur because a standard that was in math 2 would be maybe a standard that was in algebra 1. So if they had math 1, they didn't get it because they're supposed to get the math 2. So we have to go back and catch some of those standards. They have a list of which standards they need to remediate and go back and catch up so that we don't miss things.
but you're still able to offer trig and pre-cal?
We did not this year because we didn't have, typically what our kids have done instead of trig and pre-cal is go algebra 1, algebra 1, geometry, algebra 2, or in the past math 1, math 2, math 3, and then do college algebra. We can do trig and pre-cal. Interest has been more algebra 1, algebra 2. Now we do have one student who, because he was accelerated through the VOTEC math program, wanted calculus, and he goes to first periods in Mix County High School.
What about, I know you have an excellent math teacher at VOTEC. Is there any, sort of, attempt to try to see if you can get some of those, maybe you'll only have 2 or 3, but some that want more advanced math go to VOTEC for that particular class? Or?
We can talk to them about that. Part of the problem, I won't say the problem, but part of the issue with that would be that they have VOTEC classes that they're covering as well. And in order to offer the embedded credits at VOTEC, it's hard. They did, we did that last year. Got some kids out there, did math out there. But we've got enough room to teach a college algebra, a trig, a pre-calculus. We just didn't have the interest because all the kids that would have been interested wanted college algebra because they're going to get that college credit from college algebra. And for many majors, college algebra is all you need. You can go to believe it or not, you go to med school with only having college algebra. School, whatever, so don't, calculus is encouraged, but, so a lot of them, they see that college credit. And if they don't want to go into something medical or engineering related, there are a lot of them, like, yeah, give me that college algebra and I'll never do math again.
Or is it available through college partnerships?
We could teach, yes, they can take online, college partnerships, college trig, they can do that. We can do online math through, really any college, but we would use probably New River, because right now that's who we're kind of.
It can be done if they want.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, thank you, sir.
Chronically absent students, I'm guessing you all probably compare that year to year and it's probably the same kids over and over.
It is, I mean, sometimes things change, and that's where our social workers, our community schools people come. Community schools has 25 what we call case managed students. They're intensively with, and that's parent and all that, but they meet with them, and sometimes we compare it and a kid will pop up that's never been chronically absent before. It's like, what happened? And sometimes it's a life circumstance change at home. Could be a variety of things, but usually, yes, our chronically absent kids are chronically absent. You can track it all the way back to their chronically absent Regina and elementary school. It's just happened. So yeah, we look at that, and when those ones do pop up that are a little bit different, we also explore why is that happening. But and again, like ours, it's bad. 20%, 1 out of 5 kids are chronically absent. But when you look at state numbers, it's not bad. But that's certainly something we want to improve. We want to get that blue. Like I said, if we can keep that number under 20%, get into that blue, which is kind of the goal.
Well, I just want to say one other thing. Over the last couple of years, when we moved, the board moved the middle school over to you all, I appreciate you and Mr. Collins, the way you all work together and the staffs work together. And obviously the kids see that. And if you don't work together, kids pick up on it faster than anybody, all the way down to elementary.
Yep.
But anyway, appreciate you all the way you work together. Thank you. Okay, as Mr. Collins comes up, I forgot to tell you all, Mr. Ferguson could not be here today. He's also on the West Virginia Medicine Board, WVU Medicine Board, and they had a meeting, so he couldn't be two places, but he apologized for not being here to you folks.
Well, I actually intended it. The rain sort of changed. I can see it. No, your car, well, it's not right here in your car. We don't have to smell it all afternoon, let's just say.
Right, good morning. Thank you again for the opportunity to speak in front of you and share some of the things that are happening. Thank you for the honesty. Again, it's one of those things that each year when I come, I try to tell you a little bit of the good things that are happening. And by far, the most exciting thing that we've added this year is out there. As I was just chatting with Mr. Bing there about, plan to actually have him with us today, and unfortunately the rain sort of changed my plans. I saw it have to deal with the wet and sloppy dog building this morning, so I didn't load him up this morning. The rain left the school this morning. But Jackson is quickly becoming the face of Richland Middle School. He's becoming quite a celebrity. He's been out to a couple of the elementaries in the county as well. And he's making a huge change in our culture and climate in the school. We have kids who last year were some of those chronically absent students and have been for years. We have two of them right now that are on track for perfect attendance, in fact, because we need to set up an incentive program where each week, if they have perfect attendance, they get to spend 10 minutes, it's on Friday, with the dog and playing with him, playing fetch. He needs the exercise, so it works out facing for each other. We have tons of kids who come in each morning and first thing they want to do is pet the dog. They're glad to be in school. I don't care. I really don't care what their reason being there is. The fact is they're coming to school now. And it's making a huge difference. You can see in this picture, there were 3 handlers who spent extensive time this summer training. Summer Billsworth was with me, and she can tell you, it was the most intensive training I think I've ever been through. All 3 of us, we were talking, and it was just amazing. At the end of the day, we were going home exhausted. And you wouldn't think it would be all that big of a deal just to learn some commands for a dog and how to handle a dog and how to use the dog for therapy and different things. But as I say, it was intensive and it was well worth it. I think it's benefiting our school in ways. We also have some walkers who are trained in addition to this because it takes a complete staff to do this. In fact, Ms. White is one of our trained walkers. She hasn't been able to take advantage of that. She can't get out of the office, but she's trying. I know. So eventually she'll get some Jack's time too. And of course, that's all through communities and schools. You can see some pictures of the cup rally that we held in June. It was just a fun day. Governor's wife, she was there. She came and she talked about the importance of the communities and schools program. You'll see there are a couple of pictures there that are more recent. Actually, last week, All Toyota gave us a $1,500 grant to support the communities and schools program. And as I say, I have our facilitator, Summer Billsworth. I'm going to ask her just to basically give us an idea of what your day is as a communities and schools facilitator. I know you talked about the program, but it's unique for our school.
So every morning, I'm greeting the kids as they come in. I pay attention to absences to start to see who missed the day prior. So I want them to know that we're happy that they're back at school. Then after that, I take the dog for a walk, use the bathroom, and then I come back in. I work on either food bags or I get a lot of care requests. I know I talked about that last year. Between March and May last year, I had 189 care closet requests. Some of those I do screen out because some of them I think they just went out of class. So I always go ask them first before I take them out of class, which half the time it's during advisory, so it's not during a permanent class. We've had a lot of requests for food bags this year, and so I've been in collaboration with New Beginnings Worship Center to provide those. So Billy and I work close with the Ball Toyota money and the stuff from New Beginnings Worship Center to make those food bags. I start on those usually Wednesday, Thursday. I do those and I get them out on Fridays. I do a lot of stuff during the day. I just write all that down. Let's see. This year, I will say that we've had already 18 care closet requests. 29% of that is for clothing. Some children wear inappropriate clothing to school. Instead of calling home, I'm like, hey, we have clothes in our closet. Get something out of there instead of going home or calling your house. So that's cut down on that a lot. And now they're wearing appropriate clothing, so I'm really happy about that. 17% has been for school supplies. I give out a lot of pencils and backpacks. See, 18% was for food bags, and then 20% is for hygiene. I give out a lot of deodorant, a lot of body wash, things that they might not have at home that they need. See, down, like Mr. Collins said, our attendance has improved. Because I'm there greeting the kids every morning, and when they leave during the day, I'm out there saying, hey, see you tomorrow. You know, make sure you're here tomorrow. And I always make sure I have that one-on-one eye contact with them when they walk in and when they leave, let them know that we want them at school and we're happy that they're there. So I think that's helped a lot. I have about 25 students on my caseload this year. I just wanted to talk to you about, we've had a lot of donors. So Oopsie Daisy's given us a lot of things. Beginnies has given us a lot of items. And then I applied for the Mount Ego St. Patrick's Day parade grant to receive that. So that's helped our funding. The Ball Toyota, Seneca gave us some money for, they had a jean drive and they loved what we were doing with the pantry. So they wrote a check for us as well. Just like that was, I'd say 600 or something like that. So that's gone to our closet too. So we've had a lot of community outdoor like support, and so it's been wonderful. But day to day, that's, I mean, I'm just there with a smiling face. I smile a lot and I can't help it. I love my job. I love being around the kids. And I hope that CIS continues for many years to come because I've seen the impact it's had at the high school, being at the middle school, and at this.
We'll put you on the spot.
Okay, go ahead.
So there's 229 students.
Yeah.
How many names, how many of you know by name?
Probably all now.
That's,
There might be like a handful that I don't know exactly. Like
that's important.
yes, and I always try to say their name when I look at them, like,
Right.
good morning, John, or good morning, Destiny. Like, I try to let them know that I know their name, make eye contact with them because I want them to know that I'm supposed to be that one caring adult, which all teachers are. But I want them to know that if they need anything at all, that they can come to me. I will help any way I can.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
the one caring adult is the catchphrase for CIS, and that program, it's made a huge difference already in our school. I can't say enough about it. The kids want to be there. The kids feel that they have ownership. They feel important because of that program. I have facetiously, and I'm stressing that word, made the statement that basically we're paying somebody to hug our students. She's that person.
I love that.
The kids, it's amazing how many of them come in and they want that hugging point. They want something to know that somebody cares. And a lot of times, middle school, high school, they don't have that. They don't have the trust. They don't have the relationship. Summer has a personality that she's just bubbly. You can't help but feel positive when you're around her. And it really does carry over.
I love my students, all of them. I think they know that they can come to me anytime during the day if they need to. I'll always do that, carrying it all for them. Even from years past, I have kids that have went to the high school level that still come and talk to me every now and then.
Do you serve both the high school
No,
and the middle?
the guy does the high school, Ms. Giles. So we share an office though. And so that's, which thank you for that. We have a space. I really appreciate that. And we have power in our shed and we have heating and cooling units and everything. It's like a seamless, I appreciate it very, very much.
Do all schools have this?
No, it's Ridgewood Middle, Ridgewood High, and it's the three that are represented today, actually.
It's a wonderful program and I'm glad to be a part of it. Honored to be a part of it, actually.
I think we're long-term going to see a reflection in our dropout rates and our attendance rates. I think Academically, CIS will tell you they have no data to support that it really improves academics. But the fact is, most CIS schools, they do show an improvement in academics.
Well, if they attend school.
Yeah.
So exactly, that,
Yeah.
yeah, it, you know. So.
Thank you.
The only other thing we want to throw in CIS is that she really had to be involved with, and Mr. Bean warned us, so I'm not complaining of this at all. But the dog is a huge responsibility. The benefits are worth it, but it does take money, every resource. Like I said, there are a team of actually about 7 different people that it takes just to get the dog to the bathroom or to get his needs met throughout the day. So that becomes huge. Yes,
Is your question about the veterinary care?
yes,
How often do you have to take Jack to the vet?
that's one of the other things. And again, you warned us. It's been expensive because of his vet bills. He recently found out has allergies. And he cannot eat regular food. Just raising money for his food, it's costing approximately, right now it's at $100 a week. And we've been doing fundraising to get that. We've had donors who helped out with that. Nicholas Animal Hospital, Dr. Greg has been awesome. His volunteer, his services, all we pay for is medicines and any fees out other than his, but he's donated his services. So, you know, how often we have to do it, it depends on the need. He's had, I think, 3 veterinary appointments since we've had him so far.
I didn't know if the program required them to go to the vet so often for a checkup.
We had to sign an agreement to keep up with like his
Shots.
farm medicine,
Yeah.
his
Okay.
vaccinations, those things.
That's not changed.
And again, you know, we pay for the vaccination, we don't pay for the services. That's, we've been very fortunate in the cooperation we've had. But again, those allergies are going to raise the cost of that. So that's what brings. But we'll be doing lots of fundraising.
Such a concession fee for the football games, so all the money that we paid there goes directly to tracks. So to help cover. We've made pretty good profit. The cheerleaders have helped, and then I had some volunteers from the high school that come to work. So that's been a huge success. So I'll continue to do that.
Goes where? To the dog.
I had-
That's what I said when they
I
first.
think you got a little bit of a lag. But I have a slide here. This is actually from last year's Heritage Day, but I do want to invite everybody. Friday, we are celebrating our annual Heritage Day at the school. We have 19 different presenters who are scheduled, doing lots of different activities with kids. So anybody who would like to come out, running approximately 9 o'clock to 1 Friday,
This Friday.
this Friday. Some of the activities that we had this year, the homecoming pep rally, you can see Jackson is heavily involved in that as well. Kids had a great time. One of the things that I continue to stress is we don't let our facility limit what our kids have access to. And you having the same experiences they would have had let them have it. And as we move forward, we want to keep the kids having those opportunities. Pep rallies are one of the things that, you know, I hear in the public all the time. They don't know how to handle pep rally. Well, yeah, they do. We've had at least one every year. Here's the pictures from the homecoming game. And Jackson was heavily involved. He was the crown bearer. Pictures from our literature fair. We've been fortunate that the board has made it possible for us to use the St. Luke's building, and very thankful for that. You can see that we have nowhere to set up projects, display them, and things like that. So we bus the kids out to St. Luke's for the literature fair. Get a Life. We did this last month. The state treasurer's office. Not familiar with the Get a Life program. It's a financial literacy program where the students they are assigned a computer. But first, they go straight with a high school diploma, and jobs and salaries that are concerned with that, and go through and deal with some life situations that come up. See our social worker, Liz Bragg down there. She's handing out a card to one of the students. She was known as the Green Reaper. Those are unexpected life situations such as medical expenses, car accidents, different things that come up, and kids had to deal with that financially. That's round one. Round two is what is the jobs or the salaries that be available with a beyond high school education, post-secondary, where they're actually earning more money, have more security in their career, and the kids get to see the difference. And that's with the state treasurer's office. Great program. We've done it every years. Here are some of the art projects that are around our building. Our art classes have been creating a lot of things. I love the flags in the background. Kids spend lots of time with that. Down in the lower, I guess, it's going to be in the right corner, you'll see a map of the world there. Our grade science classes have been tracking hurricane activity and everything that's happening. Everything that has been happening in the news, they've really been buying into this, studying weather patterns, burns, and a lot of different things. So it's been a great opportunity for our kids. The PLTW project Lead the Way is easier. So gateway programs, we have 7th grade design and modeling. Our 8th grade has access to the flight and space, and our 8th grade has access to medical detectives. These CTE programs are awesome. They're a great way for our kids to really explore some of the things that they can get into once we get to the high school. Kids that you see here have designed air racers, rubber band power, and they're testing. That's part of the design and modeling. As far as staff, you know, I truly believe the staff is the heart of the school. I think I have the best staff. Mrs. Thomas and Mr. Williams, I think I have the best staff. I don't think I have the best staff. Maybe the United States out of it. But 6th grade, we have 4 core content area teachers, all are fully certified. One of the absolute strongest teams I have seen. One special ed resource teacher who is fully certified as well. In the 7th grade, we have 4 core content area teachers, again, all fully certified, and a special ed resource teacher who is fully certified. The 7th grade resource teacher, because of the number of special ed kids in 6th grade, is actually having to do a co-lab period. We have the 6th also doing a resource class for 6th. 8th grade, we have 1 ELA teacher who is fully certified. We have a social studies teacher, which is shared with RHS, who is fully certified. Since he is shared with Richmond High School, our 7th grade social studies teacher also has to teach an 8th grade period of Western history. Just had to make lots of modifications. It's a little harder on the teachers, but they've all stepped up and taken care of it. We have a science teacher who is currently pursuing alternative certification. He is fully certified right now as far as certification. He's pursuing degree through alternative certification. And we have a fully certified math teacher as well. Which last year that was a vacant position that we substituted. So very glad that teacher is certified. Awesome job. We have 1 special ed resource teacher. Again, that's a shared position with high school. And that teacher is pursuing alternative certification as its praxis is now involved, should be involved in certification by the end of this year. In terms of special education, we have 1 self-contained special ed teacher, again, shared with Richmond High School, fully certified. We have one classroom aide, who was assigned to us. There are two other aides in that classroom who are actually assigned to Richmond High School, that they will collaborate and try to meet the needs of the kids. Related arts, we have one wellness teacher, health E combined, fully certified. Our art teacher that I spoke of earlier is fully certified. Music band teacher, fully certified, shared with Richmond High School. And we also this year, knew was the music/French position. Finding somebody certified in music and French is next to impossible, but he is planning to pursue alternative certification once the praxis. So that is a long-term stuff. That is coming. So in addition to that, we have one counselor, one graduation coach. As Mr. Williams mentioned, the graduation coach is a halftime position. This year, that halftime position is now shared with Richmond High School, so really it's at the halftime, which is, I feel we really need those positions actually. That's that. The communities and school site facilitator, and Ms. Hillsworth already, was one principal. According to Zoom WBE, the data says we have 24 professional staff members. That 24 is including the therapists who come in and work with special education students, some of those things. So those numbers are a little bit misleading. 10 of our staff members have master's degrees or higher, and our average experience staff is almost. Demographically, our enrollment stands at 229. Last year, I think it was 231, so we're right in the ballpark, not changing significantly. We've got almost a 50-50 split male and female. And oddly enough, if you look at those numbers, you see that when I make this statement, it's a little bit misleading, but this is the most racially diverse student body I think we've had since I've been president. We have 66 special eds or IEPs. And unfortunately, if you compare that to the number that I gave you last year during the same presentation, last year we were 56 significant increase, 28.9%. Today, and I say this, I know three of you board members who have been teachers know what I'm talking about. Special education requires a lot of time. And it's not just for special education teachers. It is for special education teachers, but it also takes a lot of time. As for general ed teachers, today, my staff has had 27 for special ed that are required by federal law. In addition to that, we've had 9 general ed meetings with parents that are due to either discipline or academic concerns. 504, again, this is federally required that we do these meetings. And those are for the students who have a specialized medical plan that impacts their learning. And then the student assistance team meetings, which is where we have identified concerns. And they may be on their way into special ed, but are not there yet. They may be on their way just to add additional support to other means, but we're determining those. At 11 of those. Now, assuming that each of those meetings takes 30 minutes of time for an administrator, a general ed teacher, and a special ed teacher, our staff has spent over 28 hours in meetings so far this year. Parents. And out of that, special ed does account for 13 and a half. Now, like I said, those of you who've been in the classroom, you know some of those meetings go much longer. 30 minutes. We had one last week that went for 2 hours and 15 minutes because of the student. That happens. But like I say, these meetings take up a considerable percent. Attendance. Our ADA to date is as of yesterday is 93.27. Last year we were at 92.6%. So we are seeing an improvement. If Mr. Williams were here, he would tell you, I can tell you from my time as attendance director, any increase of 0.1% is significant. It takes effort, it takes structure, it takes planning, it takes strategies. That's a significant increase. It's not where we want it to be. We'd like to get above the 95 by the end of the year. I doubt that will happen. It's possible. That's where we're aiming. Chronically absent, that's where I think we've made the most inroads. I think, and I really do credit Mr. Williams, the programs he's implemented, just getting the word out, getting community support, has made a huge difference. Last year at this time, I was telling you that we had 28.56 of our students chronically absent. That is not the year to date. It's over 30% by the end of the year. But last year at this time, I was telling you 28.56. This year, we're at 18. That again, is very significant. See here, 51% of our students are, according to this is assumed data again available on the State Department website. 51% of our students have no written supervisor guidance so far this year. Last year, slightly down to the bottom, it's very small there. I don't see it up there or not, but last year it was 45% of our students had no issue. So that's moving in the right direction. If you look at the grade levels, I think this is quite interesting. I think you can see it there. If you look at our 7th grade in particular last year, 15% of our students were chronically absent. Now, I'm sorry, I'm looking. So that I can see. This is, let's see, but 25% of last year's, 36% of last year's 7th graders were chronically absent within the first school places at the same time. This year, it's only 15. Okay, and that's a huge improvement from 7th to 8th grade last year. Our 7th graders last year were highly concerning. Our 7th graders love it from summer. They're doing much better academically in this. And if you look, there's the trends over the years. 51, basically, that last time we had any numbers that would be compared to 51% of the students not having attendance issues would have been 2020, and what 2020 was like. So, the reason they had no attendance was we didn't do attendance. Discipline, nothing new here. Failure to obey rules, 28% of our students. So you can say, well, disrespectful and inappropriate conduct, those are our biggest issues as far as the incidents so far. You look at the offenses, and this is not percentage, this is a number of incidents. The error there is a weakness issue. But really doesn't change anything because those are incidents that should be one. The disrespect and inappropriate conduct, we've had 2 of those. Failure to obey authority rules, 35 of those. So those are our largest issues. If you look at grade level, usually it's the older kids that are having the most disciplinary cases at which school. This year, our 6th grade has been easily the greatest cases. GSA tests. Here are our testing scores. They're improving. They're not problem at all. I'll never be satisfied, as I say, there were students actually being mastered. Ultimately, what it's going to do. ELA, the numbers are better, but still not good. I can go through some presentations. Go through those and look at them. IXL, as Mr. Williams said, that's one of the things that we have been trying to use to improve our test scores. And I know last year we had 155 students who were falling far behind when I did this presentation. This year it's 137. That's a far improvement. Again, this is IXL data here. It's concerning to me if you look at these numbers. These are comparable across grade levels, and see that our 8th grade students are scoring below our 6th grade. 6th and 7th grades are going outscoring our 8th, especially. I just put this one there. I know there's no way you can read it, but you all have copies of our strategic plan goals, things that we put into place. This summer, we were fortunate, Mr. Williams again alluded to this, but thank you, Sarah Lee, for the ARC Academies this summer. Our school made extensive use of those. We did a lot of things with our identified needs. We looked at academics. We had a specific academic group that came in and looked at the data and went over the plan that we were using. What you have in front of you is the goals that we developed to target the deficiencies found academically. We also had a discipline group. We also had an attendance group, and a leadership team was involved. And we also had a PLC group together so that we could get the PLC process developing. We've been using it somewhat, but I think we're doing a much better job this year. This year, we had a few problems with getting the meeting scheduled with timing, but like I say, I think PLCs are making teachers are looking at numbers, looking at data, individual student needs, and coming up with things to address those. As far as the needs, we have very limited intervention. Like I say, the only extra personnel, I mean, misunderstand what I mean by extra. We have basically the classroom teachers, and we had the graduation coaching that actually pull out things. Other than our special education staff. With the number of special ed students that we have, special ed staff is stretched thin. We have students in the SAT process who are approaching special ed. They really don't have the time to keep their schedule to provide additional services, to provide any kind of intervention. So we were relying heavily on our graduation coaching position, and that's cut in half. Something happens, it was. In our strategic plan, we really felt that we did a full-time position or maybe 2 half-time positions, but half of a half. That's really making it difficult. Have a student, any reading specialist will tell you, if you have a student who's reading at a 3rd grade level, when they hit middle school, they're not going to go past that without specific targeted intervention, without one-on-one instruction, without very small group instruction. And that's very difficult to have classroom teachers and 6 students in a classroom. Or 24, some in most cases is more realistic. But again, that's one of the biggest needs is we need interventions, especially in reading, the math scores obviously as well. Meeting conference areas, that I left that one from last year because we haven't added any space obviously. But we may do. That's one of those things we can deal with. Classroom for the CTE programs. We talked about that. That's one of the things that's absolutely essential. In the new school, having the space to expand those. I talked about the Project Lead the Way gateway programs. They're great programs. The problem we have is teachers are very limited. We saw the picture of the kids out in the hallway. That's where they have to go. We don't have lab space. Simply just don't have it. Assistant principal, we've talked about that. Staff, personnel issues the way they are, but I'm spending so much of my time doing this. It's very difficult to instruction. Most of that is going on. And last night I was in school at 6 o'clock and then went there after school working, trying to catch up on things. There's a lot of things that I need to do. I'd rather move in do it in the evening. It gets me in the classroom today. I'd rather in the classroom. Any questions?
You said you improved in math, ELA, and science. Was that, and IXL, you have boy diagnostic snapshot.
Beginning of the year, as Mr. Williams said, we do one at the beginning of the year, we do a mid-year, and then we do at the end of the year. That's what the 4 years is.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah, part of your question was.
Now, how closely does your improvement in your GSA testing correlate to the IXL? Or
Last
does
year,
it?
it actually, last year, it correlated very well. If you look at the year data. However, we did see a regression in the IXL scores from the end of last year to the beginning. I don't know, because the kids that were scoring almost to grade level, I think the kids have figured out that they can plug the diagnostic, and then it looks like they improved. I think that beginning of the year diagnostics sometimes is misleading because the students are just sort of not taking it seriously. And they, by the end of the year, work a little bit harder, and it looks like they've grown. Maybe they have, maybe they haven't.
You say you're going to spend a minimum of 15 minutes weekly in IXL. Do you do that now, or what
We
is
do
that?
yes.
Oh, okay.
Both in math and in ELA, we have a scheduled math lab that every student has. We have a scheduled ELA lab that most students have because of some of the requirements. And the students that don't have the lab periods generally are the higher level students already. The ones who are enrolled in algebra, the ones who are enrolled in foreign language, they may not have it in their schedule to do an ELA lab, but everyone will have a math lab. And they spend at least 15 minutes on IXL during that time.
But they have that now.
Yes,
Okay.
that is in place.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Another question I have is for you and Scott both. How is the cell phone and dress code policy work?
For me, it's almost a non-issue.
Against the cell phones, I think we're at 20-some cell phones taken and 5 that are taken twice now.
So they're 5 repeat offenders.
5 repeats.
And now third time they lose them for
Third
the
time
rest of the year.
in the 9 weeks. I'm aware of that. So aware of that. Yeah.
Okay.
But just one that can push it for the most part, take it away, to get better engagement. Like the young lady, the student presented in the last board meeting, I think I thought I even heard her say. Okay. Not fighting the cell phone and the attention. Dress code was slow starting, it's got a lot better. I just, with them trying to push where exactly is the.
Oh, they'll push the limits on you.
Where, how high a hole can be. Slowly got that under control. Understanding and therefore that's got a lot better too, cold weather doesn't hurt.
We have had more dress code issues than we've had cell phones. You know, honestly, I think I've taken. I think I took 1 cell phone. It is, like I say, it's almost non-existent.
Okay.
Dress code, we've had a few more issues. But, you know, the teachers have been trying to be as consistent as possible. And I think it's, I think what.
I know when I personally see one, a violation, I don't address it myself, but I tell one of the teachers to have a track with that student. But it's, we had more phone call, I had more phone calls about the dress code than I did cell phone. I didn't get one call about cell phone.
I haven't ran into anyone.
I thought it'd be the opposite.
And I haven't had any problems with tables. No one's lost. It's
Right.
picture pit, we call it, tell them.
Okay.
Well, it's not like, the only time we're asking to put them away is during instructional time.
Right, and that covers some of the concerns that some people about. Talked about last time, like, what if there's a disaster?
Right.
We're not taking it from you, it's still in your pocket. So if there's a disaster or something's going on, I don't think anyone's going to, in the midst of disaster, go, hey, you have self-imposed knowledge. So it's not like and some school districts, are.
Oh, some school districts said,
Vermont has
Those don't
Vermont County has a bag.
Yeah, they actually get them well.
They put the phone in a bag and it magnetic locks and they have to unlock it at the end of the day on magnetic locks. They do use those. We're actually honest, but it's working, so I don't, it's good.
Yeah, I think, with us, the middle schools are going a little bit further in that we don't let them have the classes. After the cafeteria, from the time they enter our school, they keep them in their book bags. Until after the dismissal there. And that's been, like I say, it's been very consistent. It's working very well.
I'm very impressed by the number of certified staff and the number that have master's degrees and beyond. Hang on to those people.
The best I can. Right.
I hear about the special ed teachers
Yeah.
all the time. Try not to say a whole lot, but that is, it's hard.
It's, like I say, when you look at the number of hours they're spending in these meetings, and then the special ed teachers have to prepare the IEPs and everything, extra hours. They're very busy. And again, it's not just special ed, though, it impacts everybody. I've been in every one of those special ed meetings. It takes time away from other things that you're doing. General ed teachers, it's taking time away from instruction that they could be doing it with, working it's usually on planning time. But sometimes we have to pull a teacher out of the classroom and put a different teacher in just to cover those meetings. And it's federal law, there's no way around it. I know that. It's just one of those things that we can planning.
well, we thank all three schools for presenting, and thank Panther Creek for hosting, snacks, and anything else? Do we have a motion to adjourn?
What time are we going to have it? Oh, my gosh. The board meeting will start at 5:06. Same. Yeah.
Next board meeting will be Monday, October 21st at 4:00 at the central office. Okay, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion.
Mr. Green made the motion, seconded by
Second.
Mr. Moose. All in favor?
Aye.
At 10:07.